Live on Facebook in 3, 2, 1. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Facebook.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning.
Yeah,
And
Helen.
good morning, everyone. And so now we will move right into our morning with Patty Yoon. I'm so glad you're here, Patty.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Wichita. We are so happy you are here. I am Patty Yoon. I'll be your platform leader today. Today we have with us Paul Hasselback sharing our message, Reverend Paul Hasselback. We have Judith Huffman, who's going to be sharing our meditations and affirmations. And the music is by Christmas and Daniel Namod. So let's give them all a hand. Yay! That's wonderful. We just want to welcome everyone, and just our greatest desire is that you're inspired by the music, the message, the meditation. You are a blessing to us, and we are so glad that you are here. And this is the power of the month is life. Life is the power of the month. It's the ability to energize, to vitalize, to enliven, to animate, to invigorate all that a person does. And so, with that power of the month, with the power of life, let's say our mission statement together: inspiring spiritual transformation as a vibrant, diverse, and inclusive community. And with that same power of life, let's say our statement of being together: there is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. And once again, we want to thank everyone who is joining us this morning, live on Facebook or live on Zoom. How exciting that we can even do this. We're grateful that you are here. We're especially grateful if you're here for the very first time and experiencing Unity of Wichita new for the very first time. We want to welcome you very much. And we just invite you to enjoy our teachings and express our gratitude that you are joining us today. We just invite you to take in our teachings wherever you are in your spiritual journey and just gently release whatever works. If it doesn't work for you, just gently release that, but embrace what does and bring that into your heart. And we will now bless everyone who is watching this morning. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ as you, just as you are. Thank you so much. And we will now have the lighting of the first of the Advent candles.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you all so much for being here and joining us. And as we know, we are in the season of Advent. And Advent, the word, means coming. This is a time that commemorates the anticipation and the expectancy of the birth of Jesus the Christ. Or for those of us in Unity, this is a time for spiritual preparation with the expectancy of the birth of the Christ within us, or the birth of our awareness of the Christ that is within us. So we are knee deep in the Advent season. And when it comes to the Advent candles, you see we already have lit the Advent candle for faith, for when we are grounded in the knowledge of the divine as our source, it gives us a tremendous faith. And that faith opens us up to the experience of peace, which is the second candle. And when we are founded in faith and founded in peace, it opens us up to the experience of love, which is the theme for today's Advent Sunday. So we light the candle of love. We are pure love. And so as we prepare ourselves for a moment of prayer, I ask that we hold our beloved Janet Heitman in the light of prayer. She is experiencing health challenges, so we want to make sure that we hold Dan, her husband, as well as Janet Heitman in our prayers, knowing healing and wholeness for both of them. So let us move into a time of prayer. We just take a moment to open our minds and our hearts to the awareness of the presence of pure love, the presence of God as pure love. And we remind ourselves that we are ever present in an ocean of love. We exist in an ocean of love, and we exist as pure love. Love is our true nature. And as we open ourselves up to this idea, let us move now from a conceptual idea of love to let us now feel love. Let us feel love now inside of us. Let's just take a moment to be love. Be what we really are. And in this space of being love, let us extend that love to everyone connected to our spiritual community. Let us extend that love to Dan and Janet Heitman. Let us extend that love to all beings everywhere. And know that all beings everywhere are the expression of divine love. And let us know that all beings everywhere are swimming in an ocean of love. Love is where we are. Love is who we are. And as we open ourselves up to love, we open ourselves up to all that entails. We open ourselves up to the hope and faith. We open ourselves up to peace. We open ourselves up to healing and prosperity. And we embrace it all as our divine inheritance in love. And as we reflect on this, we embody so much gratitude right now. So much gratitude. Thank you, God. And together we say, and so it is. Amen.
Come, they told me, a newborn king to see, our finest gifts we bring, to lay before the king, so to honor him, when we come. Little baby, I am a poor boy too, I have no gift to bring, that's fit to give the king, shall I play for you, on my drum? Shall I play for you? Shall I play for you? Mary looked at me and nodded, and the ox and lamb kept time. Oh, I played my drum for him. Oh, I played
And now, will you affirm with me these following statements of love? My heart is filled with faith, peace, and love. My heart is filled with faith, peace, and love. Love is the essence of all that I am. Love is the essence of all that I am. Love is the gift I give to everyone. Love is the gift I give to everyone. So now let us take this moment, this time, to relax our bodies and move into a sacred space, a sacred time, gently closing our eyes, relaxing our focus, and preparing our hearts to journey to Bethlehem. We journey with the wise men as they follow the star. We've expanded our faith, knowing that we are on a sacred journey and we are ready to move forward. Our faith has filled us with peace, and we spread that peace to all we meet. And today, we journey to love, to expand our love, and to spread it throughout the world. To let our hearts expand with the love so pure and so true. And as we near Bethlehem, we know that Mary is preparing for the birth of her child. And her heart is full of love, unconditional love for this blessed child who is to be born. We know the power of love. We see it all around us. Babies thrive on love. Babies who are preemies and have challenges survive and thrive because of love of parents. The love of their mother as she cradles her in their arms, or maybe just very gently touches their skin because they're so fragile. But that power of a mother's love and a father's love has blessed so many children's lives, and they've grown into adults who have given back in love. For just a moment now, imagine yourself cradling in your own arms a small infant. This infant needs all the love you can give it for it to thrive, for it to grow, for it to become a joyous, happy, peaceful, love-giving individual. So look at this infant in your arms. Send it all the love that your heart has. Cradle it gently, rocking it back and forth. And look closely at this infant. Do you recognize this child? This child that you are loving is you. You are loving your infant, the child that you once were. And as you feed this child love, it blesses your life. A loved child brings forth its gifts into the world. So love yourself as you love an infant and bring forth your gifts into the world to bless the world with your love, with your faith, with your peace as you journey to Bethlehem to awaken within your heart and your mind the Christ child. Take a deep breath and know that this is the truth of who you are. You are a beloved child of God. And allow yourself to know this truth deep within your heart as we walk the path of love this week. Give yourself a big hug. I love you. Say that to yourself often. And let that love spread throughout the world. And so it is. And very gently now, allow yourself to return to this space and to this moment in this time as you allow your body to move and your eyes to gently flutter open. Amen.
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. decision right here and now. My decision right here and now.
Wow. Good morning, everyone. Of course, you know I'm Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselbeck. I'm delighted to be with you, and thank you for being here today. And I'm always amazed at when I'm listening to something, how I might have a completely new take on it. Samantha, your choice of Little Drummer Boy and that particular version was particularly moving for me. And I heard those last words very differently. It said, and he smiled at me. And you know, my heart melted, remembering what it is like to see a baby smile, that beautiful, innocent smile. And it helps me, and I hope it helps you remember the innocence and the purity of the divinity within you. So as I get started, I want you to just relax, sit back, enjoy. There's no requirement to believe anything, and simply I'm inviting you to understand. And of course, my slides will be available, and you can either get them from Samantha or get them from me by going to alberthasselbeck@gmail.com. So let's get romping. So as Art so beautifully got us going with that opening prayer and the lighting of the candles, this is Advent. Traditionally, the coming of the Messiah, a celebration, the remembrance of the coming of the Messiah, the coming of Jesus. For us, it's a remembrance and a reawakening to the awareness of that Christ within each of us. And those 4 Sundays of Lent, those 4 Sundays of Advent you see down there, faith, peace, love, and joy. And of course, we are in love. And so I decided to talk about love's threefold nature. In Unity, we talk about a lot of threefold natures, and they're somehow related. And so let's take this adventure and let's dive into what exactly is love's threefold nature. And so there's love, the principle, there's love, the feeling and more, and there's love, the action. And maybe you're relating this a little bit to mind, idea, expression, because that's the concept I have. And so let's look at this. So love, the principle. So when we're talking about love, the principle, we're first starting with God. And you guys are used to me by now. God is always the starting point of the majority of my talks. And when we talk about God and unity, what do we mean? Well, Charles Fillmore said in The Revealing Word, by the term mind, we mean God, the universal principle which contains all principles. The universal principle that contains all principle. And we could actually say the same thing about Christ. Charles defined it as the idea which contains all ideas. So God is love. 1 John 4:8, God is love. How many times have you heard that? But have you heard it? That you are love. Whether you believe that you're a child of God, whether you think in the terms of you're the image and likeness of God, or maybe you believe more like me these days, that God is the principle of love. And that principle being everywhere totally present is present at the point of me. In fact, it's the real me. And so if you believe you're a child of God, then you must also believe you are love. If you believe you're the image and likeness, you must believe you're love. And in my case, love the principle. And so love is an aspect of our divinity. It's one of the 12 powers. And so the Christ, the idea that's made up of ideas, it's an idea made up of the 12 powers and so much more. And love, being one of the 12 powers, makes up our innate divinity. And for me, I don't think of my divinity as being inherited. I don't think of it as being given to me. I think of it as being inherent. Love is innate in each of us, just like all the other powers, just like faith is innate as a principle. Peace is innate in principle. Next week, joy will be talked about, and joy is innate as a principle. So faith and peace and love and joy are things you can have, but importantly, they are what you are. There's something you are. And when we can remember we are those things, we can more consciously draw on them so that we can enter into that third aspect of love. And that that second aspect is love, the feeling, and more. Because you see, we use the power of love. We use the principle of love to manifest the feeling of love and so much more. Love is involved in compassion. Love is involved in kindness. Love is involved in gentleness. Love is involved in generosity. So you see, this love that is a principle is what we use to be loving. And we're talking about that feeling of loving within us. That feeling of compassion within us. That experience of love within us. And it's because we have those experiences and that feeling, we can move on to more. So the principle of love is defined as to be loving, to harmonize, to unify, to desire and attract. We use love to harmonize our consciousness. We use love to unify our consciousness, primarily through mind idea expression, or the law of mind action. Thoughts held in mind with feeling produce more thoughts in mind with feeling. In my mind, thoughts held in my mind, thoughts held in your mind produce more thoughts with the same feeling in mind. So that harmonizes and unifies our consciousness around that thought. And then I always like to think about love as desire and think about that. When you say, maybe like I say, I love chocolate, it essentially means I desire chocolate. And when I desire chocolate or desire anything, I have the capacity to move myself toward that thing, to obtain that thing, to obtain that whatever it is that I've attached my love to, that I've attached my desire to. And that's how we attract. We're not attracting what we desire to us. We are attracting ourselves to what we desire. So desire is fundamental to the principle of love. And so that brings us to the third aspect, love the action. Because even though we know we're this principle of love, it's innate in us, it's inherent. And even though we may experience love, that doesn't mean we will take action. Though I've mentioned a few things of how that can show up, let's go a little deeper into it. And so I want to start with this quote. And actually, this is the quote that I'm going to use to guide myself for 2021. And this comes from A Course in Miracles. It says, make this year different by making it all the same. Make this year different by making it all the same. You might be going, well, what does that mean? People often have that experience reading the Course in Miracles. So the thing is, when I'm coming from simply my personality with very little awareness of my divinity, I think I have to match myself to every different thing or event that happens in my life. I have to meet it with a unique response, or a unique reaction comes spontaneously. And so every year up to now, I could think of, I've made it different. And each moment may be different within it. However, life becomes a lot easier when we remember to make it all the same. When I use that principle or power of love to desire to make it all the same. And so what if we made it all the same by actually doing something A Course in Miracles suggests? And that is, everything you see out there is either an expression of love or a call for love. When what that means is that my only response needs to be love. In my last talk last month, I shared with you how fear is evidence of love. So when I'm experiencing fear, I remember my love. Or if I see something happening around me, maybe somebody acting out, maybe somebody being angry, maybe somebody being defensive, I can say, oh, that whatever that person is doing, that's evidence that they love themselves, that there's love there. Let me focus on that instead of the appearance. Let me focus on what I know and believe about that person, because every person is innately, inherently love. And I really like this attitudinal healing principle. It's number 7. We can be love finders rather than fault finders. And isn't that what we would be doing if we make the decision to be love, to be loving, and to always respond from the awareness of love? The awareness of love as the principle, what we really are, the awareness of being loving, the who I am, so my action aligns from that lovingness. We can be love finders rather than fault finders because we are innately divine. And then I want to share with you something I studied a long time ago, the 5 love languages, which I have put into practice in my life in so many ways. There's not time to go into detail, but I want to review them. And it's based on the book by Gary Chapman, who is a very traditional Christian. However, looking at love as ways we can express love through 5 different languages is important. And another important piece is that each of us tend to have one way in which we take some sort of action, one way in which we express our love. And when we know what that is, we can then learn to express our love in all 5 ways. And when we have a primary love language, that's the most easiest way that we can feel love. So it's really important in your primary relationships to know what the other person's love language is. So let's look at these. Words of affirmation. I put this first because this is mine. This is my primary love language. Words of affirmation is something that comes very easily to Unity folks. It's when we express our appreciation and love to another person. And I always advocate to making it very specific. So when you say, wow, I really appreciate you, that feels good. But what if you said, I appreciate you for the way in which you helped me with that recipe last week? Or I appreciate you because you took the time to lift up the phone and call me. Words of affirmation. And that's when I feel the most loved. However, I have learned to express the love and receive love in the other languages. The other is acts of service. That's the person who likes to do things for you. They like to do things for you because they love you. They're not doing the things because they want something back. They don't want a quid pro quo. That's the way they demonstrate they love you. And of course, if you have someone in your life that expresses love that way, they would most appreciate it if you did acts of service for them. Not as I'm doing it because you did it. I'm doing it because I want to show you how much I love you. The next one is gifts. Maybe you know a person. I have a few in my life. I'm thinking of somebody right now. The person who not only knows instinctively what the gift is that would be enjoyed by the person they're giving it to, but they have a way of wrapping them that looks exquisite. The wrapping is often as important as the gift. And I'm thinking of the times when I find that perfect gift for somebody and my heart sings because I get to express my love in an action, in a concrete and measurable way. And of course, I always enjoy getting gifts. I bet you do too. The next one is quality time. That's where the person likes to share their time with a person. And often with the person with quality time loves that one-on-one interaction where you sit down and you have a cup of coffee, or you sit down and you have a Zoom conversation and you can see that person and you can see their facial expressions and you can engage with them. I really like that love language myself. And then the next one is touch. Have you ever met the person who just touches you gently in some way? Or maybe you do that when you're passing your beloved. You find a way to touch them on the shoulder or give them a pat or to give them a squeeze. That's what touch is all about, that personal touch. And in Unity, we express that touch through hugs. And as I'm sharing this, you could probably think of ways in which these could be misused as well, which is something that we always have to be aware of because we wow, I didn't realize I got muted. So you want to be really aware of how you're using these things, using these 5 love languages that you're not doing from your adverse ego, but you're remembering at the core, you are this principle of love. And that because you are love, you can be loving. And then make your decisions from being the loving presence you are. One more thing I want to share with you. Maybe many of you have a practice of writing a gratitude list. Well, this is a suggestion to create a love list. And this is how you might be able to develop this thing called unconditional love. So the first thing you want to do every morning or every evening, I actually prefer every morning because it reminds me to be loving during the day. List 5 things you love, and then put it aside and just feel that experience of loving and be that experience of loving and notice how it feels. And do that for several days. And then after several days, say 3, 4, 5, maybe a week, at some point during the day, sit down and see if you can produce that experience of love without having an external reason, without having an external object. Well, loving because of something external is a good thing. It's also one way in which we seem to live from the outside in. And that's why it's important to remember that you are inherently love. You can express love as the feeling of love and then love something, have the feeling of love for something. But if we practice this on a regular basis, we can develop the ability to be love, the feeling of love, the expression of love wherever we are. And that makes it easier. That makes it easier to make this year different by making it all the same. Because you're not looking for an outer reason to love. You're being the love from the inner reason of your innate divinity. So notice how you feel. Practice feeling love without a reason. Practice feeling love without an object. And so that's love the principle, love the feeling and more, and love the action. The actions we can consciously take to be love in the world. And doing that this Christmas season is a great place to start. You are love, you are loving, and you do loving things in the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselbeck. We are certainly blessed here at Unity by the music, the message, the meditation, and love.
Yes.
What an amazing morning. Thank you so much. So please consider giving a tithe or an offering this morning. You can visit our donations page at www.unityofwichita.org/donations for a secure financial gift, or you can send a check directly to Unity of Wichita at Unity of Wichita, 2160 North Oliver, Wichita, Kansas, 67208. And we just invite you to also look at, well, we'll see if we can see this here, but it is in your love packet, in your holiday packet, there is a little notification about special offerings, special donations, special gifts. So if you want to look at that as well in your holiday packet. And whatever you are guided to give this morning, we just ask you to visualize that and place that over your heart. And we'll say together our offering blessing. Divine love flowing from me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, all that I receive, and I am grateful. Amen.
Thank you, Patty. I am so grateful that you are here. As we move into our announcements, there I am. As we move into our announcements this morning, I would like to direct your attention to the link on the bottom of the Facebook chat, the comments, or in your chat box. There is a direct link to the donation page there for Unity of Wichita. easy to get on there and make a secure donation. So the first announcement that we have this week is the Adventures in Advent is continuing. Man, what a great group. I am so grateful for this group and for Eleanor and just the way that she is diving into deepening our experience with Advent. If you haven't jumped into that group, maybe this week is the time to do it. It will be moved from 7 p.m. to 4 p.m. to accommodate the Blue Christmas service that's coming up. So be sure and check that out on the calendar. Again, that's just a group to deepen your experience in Advent. Then the same day, this Thursday at 6:30 p.m., join us for the Blue Christmas service. Now, just remember, Blue Christmas is an opportunity for us to allow whatever feelings we have. This year has been a challenge, right? And we know that we love and we celebrate one another and we celebrate this time. We also know that sometimes not everybody's feeling it, right? So this is a time for us to feel safe in expressing and experiencing those feelings while still knowing that we're in a powerfully beautiful and special time of the year. Then next week, on 1 week from Blue Christmas, we'll have the Christmas Eve candle lighting service. You guys, this is going to be a little bit different, but I think it's going to be wonderful. And remember, in your blessing packages that you received, you also received a cookie recipe. I know that some folks have already told me that they've shared that they've tried making the cookies already, and it's been so much fun. So if you guys are bakers, be sure and make a batch of cookies and share your experience following the candle lighting service, and let's connect on Christmas Eve. Finally, I want to remind you that Burning Bowl is coming up. It will be on that first Sunday in January. So it's going to be January the 3rd, and then the Sunday following will be the White Stone ceremony. So we have a lot to look at. Now, you know, those kiddos, they changed their time. They're meeting now at 9 a.m. This week, they talked about how to pray and how God is listening to your prayers. How cool is that? What a great talk. What a great class to have. So let's just envision those kiddos in all their glory and all their excitement, and let's bless them. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you, and we behold the Christ as you, just as you are. One final announcement that I want to be sure that I mention is that the Humankind Ministries is looking for volunteers this last week of distribution. So if you have some time and some desire to support Humankind Ministries through volunteer time, this is the week to do it. Be sure and check them out on their website. And with that, we will move directly into our closing prayer with Art Handy.
Thank you so much, Sam. And thank you all so much for being you and being love and blessing us all with your presence and your attention this morning. So we will now move into our prayer protection, and then we will go into some affirmations of peace to end our service. So you see the prayer protection there on the monitor. Let us affirm from the deepest place in our heart. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And since we're in this prayerful contemplative space, I invite you to bring forth the idea of peace. And peace is in us. It is in the stillness that is a part of our true nature. And from this place of peace, please affirm silently as I say aloud, I am peace. Peace is my true nature. Let there be peace all over the earth, and let it begin with me. And so it is. Thank you all so much, and God bless you.